In this short video, I'm going to show you how to complete the Practica Musica activity, the major scale. After you've opened your program Practica Musica, you will need to select the Exploring Theory course. Then select Chapter 1, Notation of Pitch. Then select the major scale and click the tab Open. So in this activity, you will be asked to play major scales, either ascending, which means you start from the lowest note and play it to the highest note, or descending from the highest note to the lowest note. So we're going to use our scale pattern and our knowledge of whole steps and half steps to play the scales. So the direction at the top says, please play a major scale ascending from C. So the word ascending lets me know that it's going to be going from the lowest sound to the highest sound, and I need to start on the note C. I'd recommend for this activity module that you have the scale pattern in front of you. Remember, the scale pattern is your first note. In this case, it tells us the first note is C, and then we'll follow the pattern. So to play the scale, I'm going to use my mouse cursor to select middle C with the yellow triangle, and then I'm going to go up a whole step to D, up another whole step to E, up a half step to F, up a whole step to G, up a whole step to A, up a whole step to B, and up a half step to C. Once I've finished playing the scale, I'm going to click on the tab, Was That Right? And in this case, I find out that I completed the scale correctly. So now I will click the bar, Try Another. So now the directions tell me, please play a major scale ascending from G. So I know that my starting note is G, so I can start on middle C and go C, D, E, F, G. This will be my starting note. And then ascending means that I'm going to play the scale going up, and I will use my pattern. So if G is my first note, I play G. Then I go up a whole step to the next note, A, up a whole step to the next note, B, up a half step to the next note, C, and remember that half step means that it is the neighbor note above. Then I go up a whole step to the next note, D, up another whole step to the next note, E, and now I'm supposed to go up another whole step. Remember that neighbor notes are half steps, so in order to play a whole step, I have to go from E all the way up to F sharp, which is the black key, and then I have to go up a half step to get my final note. Since I'm playing this black key F sharp, my half step or neighbor note is the note G above. I'll click the tab, Was That Right? And discover that I completed it correctly. So again, I click the bar, Try Another. Now it asks me to play a major scale ascending from F. So once again, I start with my middle C, D, E to F. Now I know my starting note, so I follow the same pattern. F, up a whole step to G, up a whole step to A, up a half step to B flat. B flat is that next neighbor note. Up a whole step to C, up a whole step to D, up a whole step to E, and up a half step to the neighbor note F. Then click the tab, Was That Right? And it was. So then I'll click Try Another. So now I'll have my first descending example. Please play a major scale descending from C. So I could start with middle C if I wanted to. In this case, though, I'm going to go to the octave C that's above it. So I'm going to go up my alphabet, C, D, E, F, G, A, B, C, and start here so I can go to the left or go down. So I start with C, and now my pattern goes backwards. So C, down a half step to B, down a whole step to A, down a whole step to G, down a whole step to F, down a half step to E, down a whole step to D, and down a whole step to C. And then click the tab, Was That Right? And it was. So then I will click Try Another, and once I finish that next two examples, I've completed the module.